Always we're gonna go by the SOAP format. I know like certain attending, certain hospitals, certain systems have different, but here everybody goes by the SOAP format. You're gonna present the subjective part, whatever the patient is reporting, and then we're gonna give the objective information from chart checking, which is basically your vitals, exam, labs, imaging, micro, and then you're gonna discuss the assessment and plan. So here is a tip about your assessment and plan. People think they want to present every single problem on rounds. Okay. You don't have to. You just need to present probably like the two, three active problems. These are that are going on with the patient. Okay. You don't want to discuss like the chronic issues that are already ongoing. You can manage these with your senior resident. Like patient is admitted for CHF exacerbation. You're basically gonna discuss the active problem. So we are admitting this patient for CHF exacerbation, and we are diuresing him. We're gonna monitor his electrolytes and repeat as needed. Keep him on telemetry and move from there. Okay. You don't need to discuss the diabetes that we are putting him on the sliding scale. So this is something that you and your senior resident can address unless the attending was willing to discuss that issue. So that was like the part about like what kind of problems need to be presented, and then you're gonna write down the orders and put check boxes next to them. So that will remind you that you need to do and place these orders, and make you keep following through. So make sure that you write down the orders, and after if the order was not clear to you or there was a discussion and you discussed and you presented like oh, the patient has a worsening AKI, and then should I consult nephrology or not, and then the senior resident said like probably we hold off, and then the attending no, we're gonna consult. So you're in between like what did we decide then, are we consulting or not? So you need to clarify about if the order is happening. If you are not clear, just ask, make sure that you clarify the order and you have the right thing. Otherwise, things will be missed. And then, if someone told you to call a consult and you have a patient and they told you like, okay, so we're consulting GI for this patient, and you are not really clear why are we calling GI for the patient. Let's say the patient have obstructive jaundice and the attending asks you to place a consult for GI. You're not sure what the question will be. Just make sure that you ask, and what will be the question that will be asking for GI, and probably will tell you like, okay, so we're concerned about obstructive jaundice, and they might need to do some intervention like ERCP, and then you will be more comfortable giving a call to the consult. So just be clear about the question that we are asking. We don't just call consults for no reason. We always have a question to ask. So just make sure that you know what is the question that we are asking. So done with rounding, we got our orders. Usually, like at the end of rounds, different seniors have different styles, but myself, I usually right away sit with the team and just run the list quickly, just to make sure that everybody on the same page. And we basically divide the tasks. And sometimes I jump in, help with a couple calls, or put a couple orders, or I may place some of the orders during grounding. So I tell them like, don't worry about that order, I already put it in. So I just to clarify, reconcile the orders, and then everybody on the same page. And I put a follow up a couple hours down the road, maybe 2 p.m., 3 p.m. Make sure everything was all the orders happen, and go from there. So that's like basically what rounding process on the inpatient. Then we go to the post-rounding OCDs. So we place the orders, and then we call the consults, and then we discharge our patients. So this is like the sequence that we go by, because order usually the fastest to place, consults usually take some time, and discharges need some tuck in to be finalized and sent out of the hospital. You need to know the process of discharge at the VA because it's a little bit tricky, and I will show you a little bit about the details. for the discharges on CPRS.